Hi guys, and welcome to Curveball, the podcast.
Welcome. We are so excited to have you here. We have got a cracking episode today and we're going to dive straight in, head first.
A bit different this one.
Happiness hacks. Number one. Mo Gorda, I'm going straight for it. I'm in.
Go for it.
We really just want to support you in feeling happier, in being able to let go, in just having a happy life. I feel like we've both got there. We've done a lot of therapy, we've done a lot of work, and we just want to talk a little bit about what we've learned.
Yeah.
So, Mo Gorda is a happiness researcher who I absolutely love. He actually used to be the chief business owner at Google X. So he's had a super successful career, but then he had a really tragic personal story. He lost his son and he dedicated his whole career and continues to dedicate his whole career to helping people be happier, live in the present, and his work is just so beautiful. He's someone I'd really, really recommend listening to his podcast, reading his books, and he basically talks about how happiness is rooted in being in the present moment. So much of the depression that we feel is associated with looking back.
Absolutely,
and so much of the stress and anxiety that we feel is associated with looking forward. And happiness can only really be found when we focus on the present. So it's really, really important. And he's just amazing to listen to because he just gives you this perspective of life not being guaranteed, right? We live our lives as if we're absolutely guaranteed the next 40, 50 years, and it's just not the case. And he's all about saying what you need to say, cutting out toxic people, living your life for yourself in a selfish way, but I say that in the most positive way possible.
Yeah. Well, that kind of goes on to what we're going to talk about next, isn't it? And so it's like self-care tips.
Yes.
These are just a couple of self-care tips because, you know, me and Sophie both, we prioritise self-care. You know, we don't have children. We really do prioritise self-care. But I think it's really important to feel happy in the present. So just a couple of tips here for you. First one being schedule me time. These, by the way, are so standard. But like we forget that they are there, right?
Basic bitch self-care tips, but they're so important.
Basic bitch self-care tips. Love that.
Go.
Yeah, schedule me time. Yes. Oh my God. Take a bath, take a walk. Take a minute.
Okay.
What was you gonna say?
What does me time mean? If I say I'm going for some me time.
Yeah, go masturbate.
Go and masturbate.
Go masturbate, yeah.
Get those endorphins flowing.
Absolutely, yeah. We need an endorphin, serotonin, dopamine hit. All this is gonna, I think this will make you a lot happier. Mindful eating and nutrition, again, something so standard, but just putting nice nutrients into our bodies, that does make us feel better.
Asking yourself, how does this food make me feel? Yeah. Don't get me wrong, love a Macca's, love a Nando's, but asking yourself afterwards, how do I feel? Yeah. Is it adding value? Is it making me happy?
Is it digesting in my stomach right, or am I going to shit myself? Basically. No, that's really crude, but you know, it's true because, well, you know, gluten-free, dairy-free, if you're putting that stuff into your body and your body is not digesting it, you're going to feel like shit. Yeah. So, you know, look at your nutrition. We're both curve models. We've had to change our nutrition many times, haven't we? You know, we don't sit and eat McDonald's all day, I promise. Like, we don't. I love our vegetables.
Because it doesn't make us happy.
It makes us happy. No. I would actually love a salad over at McDonald's now because you feel shit after, right? So
it's all about that self-awareness of how does food make you feel.
Yeah, mindfulness eating, right, yeah. And then connect with nature, also very standard. But oh my God, just to go out and have a minute. Like, you love to go and do that in between the podcast as well, don't you?
Yeah.
She does. She goes and has a minute.
I love a minute.
She loves a minute. And I know it's good because you go get a bit of fresh air. We need that. It just restarts kind of the day, doesn't it? Just go have, even if you don't have that much time in the day, just 10 minutes for yourself to go for a little walk.
I actually love to go outside and just look up at the sky. It really grounds me. It makes me feel like I'm just bigger than whatever it is that's stressing me out, or like I'm small almost. I'm small and insignificant.
The thing actually is to ground yourself.
So being outdoors grounds you, right?
You're such a little dot in the universe and you're stressed about money or work or your boyfriend being an arsehole, and at the end of the day, just take a minute, take a breath.
Ants. We're not even ants here, like. I love water personally. I need to be around water. I'm a water sign, so I'm like, I have to be around water. So if I ever feel like I really need grounding, I go next to water. Yeah. So yeah, well, whatever star sign you are, follow that. Regular check-ins with yourself. Again, that's just very simple. When you're going outside for a walk, how does it make you feel? How are
It's
you
just the
feeling right now?
awareness of,
Yeah.
does this make me happy
Yeah.
or does it not? And that sounds so basic, but I think that's a question that we don't stop
Yeah.
and ask ourselves often enough. Does this make me happy?
Yeah. That is very true, that actually. I think everybody needs to just ask that question. Does this make me happy?
Multiple times a day.
And if it doesn't, seek support. That's one of the big ones, right? I do believe that, therapy has always had such a bad rep around it. Like, for us, it hasn't. We've both been to therapy. I love therapy.
I love therapy.
This is therapy.
It is therapy.
Actually, this is free therapy for you guys as well, because, we're trying to put everything that we've learned in therapy to this podcast. So I think seek help if you need it, because we do need a helping hand sometimes.
Absolutely. And it's so great to speak to a professional, but to add to that, if you are in a position where you can't afford therapy, which I know is a lot of people's situation, having a really good girlfriend who you can talk to openly and have a cup of tea and sit on the couch and get it all out is just as good as any therapy. It's just as important. So talk about journaling. What's the role of journaling for you?
Oh, journaling has changed my life completely. I think I'm ADHD.
Yeah,
You're ADHD.
undiagnosed, but we know I'm a bit spicy.
Yeah,
Something going on.
There's something going on.
I think it's ADHD. I'm neurospicy. Let's go with that.
And you know what? So many people are, and that's fine. But for me, I needed to take all the bullshit out of my head. And I'm talking, there's a million thoughts going on all the time. I just wanted to put it out in front of me. And as soon as I release it onto paper, it's just it's like a breath of fresh air.
Absolutely. We both are manic in terms of our thoughts. I mean, our conversations, the fact that we're able to pull a podcast together, but we have to actively work so hard to slow it down and slow the conversation down, because when we're just chatting, you wouldn't understand anything we're saying. We understand, but we have to have an agenda for a coffee date, and I have to tick it off. I'm like, right, we're moving on to the next agenda.
She actually does. She sends me an agenda before, and she does it twice. She'll send it me the night before and on the day, just so that I know that these are the points we've got to go through. Because
You
if
secretly
not,
love it.
Yeah, no, I really do. Because if I'd not got that in front of me, I would go off topic a million times and we'd never finish a conversation. And it just, when you've got something in front of you that you're ticking off or you journal, it just makes you breathe.
I love a list. A list is a happiness hack for me.
Absolutely.
But journaling, I think, for both of us is that moment to just be able to get out of your head. Sometimes when your thoughts are whirring so fast, and even if you're not neurospicy, I'm going with that title, that's what we're calling it.
Neurospicy.
Even if you're not neurospicy.
We're neurospicy. Love that. Yes, we are.
It's still so powerful to just try and understand, because sometimes you have thoughts about things and in your head they're so erratic, and once you write them down, either you have the self-awareness to go, I'm being silly, or that it's not as big as it was when it was in my head.
Big a deal. I was really upset that so-so said this.
Or you are really upset about it, but you're able to process it. So I've actually written some journal prompts.
Right, okay.
Because one of the things that people say to me about journaling is, what do you write about? I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for such a long time that I know the questions to ask myself to be able to have a successful journaling session. But journaling can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
You might write 3 sentences and you've just got that little bit of noise out of your head. It's still journaling.
Yeah.
Or you might want to dive really deep. So one of the things, as we're moving into a new year, let's look back on the previous year and think about, what lessons did I learn that I want to carry forward? That can be a really great question to ask yourself in a journal. Or even if it's not the new year and it's just you've been through a situation and you want to look at...
even.
Yeah, or you've come out of a relationship and you want to look at what lessons did I learn and what did I learn? What have I achieved that I'm most proud of? This can be really good if you're in a really negative headspace, focusing on what you do have and focusing on what you have achieved rather than comparing yourself to people and constantly focusing on what's not working and what's not going right. What are you proud of? What have you achieved?
Can I just add to that that is one of the things that's actually in my journal, and that's a daily practice. And I think actually putting that into a daily practice of what have I achieved today, even if it is just getting out of bed because I was in a bad headspace. That is an achievement.
Absolutely.
And those small little things do really help.
Little wins.
Little wins help, right?
Yeah,
So that goes on to
100%. Happiness-wise, what were my happiest moments, or like I feel happy when.
Yeah, love that.
A journal prompt of I feel happy when, and then reading that list and doing more of that
Yeah.
will literally transform your life.
Yeah, that's
Getting conscious over when do you actually feel happy? Who do you feel happy around? What foods make you feel happy?
Love that. Who made me feel happy today?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where do I see myself a year from now? What does success look like for me? These are some really great prompts to get you thinking differently.
Yeah, definitely. And again, just shorten that, I think, because sometimes in a year, obviously we want to look in a year's time, but 6 months, and 3 months, and a month, and then a week.
100%.
Just
Today.
break it down. Yeah, makes you feel so much better. You feel like you're actually on a path then, that you're ready to achieve that.
And if you are in a really dark space, just to flip it back to setting those tiny goals, your journaling might just be about what you're going to achieve by the end of the day. And even if that's just getting up, having a shower and being kinder to yourself, then that's still success. You still get to tick things off. So journaling for me has been a massive part of my happiness journey and my growth journey because it's just allowed me to get to know myself better. Do you know what else? Exercise.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, exercise is huge, yeah.
Has transformed my relationship with myself. I don't know about you, but for me, for years, I had such a bad relationship with exercise. I struggled with disordered eating. And so exercise for me was just punishment. Exercise was, I've just eaten chips, so now I need to go on the treadmill and run for 240 calories, for example. That was the only way I saw it. I never thought about exercise as being something that would make me happy. It was always punishment. I never focused on finding an exercise that I actually enjoy. So for me, that's Pilates, swimming, lifting weights. I love nothing more than going to the gym and doing a weight session. It is genuinely one of the happiest I ever feel. So when we talk about journaling and getting clear over what makes you happy, for me, a really happy place is being in the gym.
I love that as well because mine's changed as well. Like I really enjoy going now. And I didn't before. I mean, sometimes it's a bit of a drag with the weather, for instance, you know, when it's a bit shit outside. Even getting into the car and getting to the gym. And then as soon as I'm at the gym, I'm like, yes, I love this. Getting some good music on and just, you never ever regret having a workout.
No, you don't. Even if it's
Do
shit.
you?
Even if you lift 2 weights and leave.
I was at the gym the other day, actually, and I saw a guy that I used to date, and he was like, I've actually just like seen you come in 10 minutes ago, and you're leaving. And I was like, who was watching me there? Like,
Don't
where are you?
gym shame me.
Yeah, and don't judge me. It was like, no, at least you've been. I was like, thank you. I did just 10 minutes. That was enough. But you know, it wasn't, I actually did like 5 sets.
I think it's just showing up for yourself and having that reframe. This has been the biggest thing for me in terms of exercise being a happiness hack, is that reframe of exercise is not punishment. I do exercise because it makes me feel happier.
Absolutely.
It gives me clarity of thought. It allows me to just connect back into myself. And even if that's 10 minutes, and even if I do 10 minutes on the treadmill.
That's also your me time.
I know.
Right?
And also I've still, and this kind of goes off topic slightly, but I'm teaching my brain, I am rewiring my brain for positivity to think that I am the type of person who follows through on doing what I say I'm going to do. So if I say I'm going to go to the gym and I don't go, I'm letting myself down, I'm letting my brain down. And I'm starting to teach myself that I'm the type of person who doesn't follow through on what I say I'm going to do. So getting myself to the gym for my mental health, for my happiness, when I've told myself that's what I'm going to do, adds to the happiness cycle.
Yeah, because you've achieved something that
because
day.
I've achieved something and I've done what I said I was going to do, and I'm proud of myself. So exercise has been huge for me as a happiness hack. And I cannot encourage you enough, if you're listening, to find an exercise that works for you.
Well, we spoke about this quite a bit actually recently, because I have just, actually I'm going skiing at the end of the month.
Ooh,
me skiing. Oh my God, by the way.
Can you ski?
I can ski now,
Oh,
a little
I
bit.
love
I'm not great, but do you know what all my friends were like? Do not go. I'm the clumsiest person in the world. They were all saying no, and I went, and I was actually.
To be fair, I'd be slightly alarm skiing with you.
Yeah, I know, but I was
Your
actually.
tits would be out.
I was on the floor with legs up. Yeah, you know, drank that bottle of champagne at the top of the sea slopes. But hey ho, I did, and I did nearly damage myself. But I loved it so much. That adrenaline is incredible. So found skiing, paddle, I've been playing for the last 7 months.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. It's something I really enjoy.
I'm going to commit this year. I'm going to start
Yeah,
playing
I've been
paddle
trying to
with
get you onto that, haven't I? Honestly, it's amazing. Just that dopamine, serotonin hit. Oh, it's fun. So find a sport or something that you find fun.
You might be
know?
listening and think, oh my God, skiing and paddle is my idea of hell. But it might be a quiet gym session where you're lifting weights and it's just you versus you. And
That
you've
was
got your
really
head.
extreme for mine, yeah. Swimming. Love swimming.
yoga.
Yeah.
There's just so many different types of exercise. But what it will do for your mental health, even if it's just getting out and having a walk, it will do wonders. It's so important.
Right. So yeah, one of the things for me, which I've had to do, is meditation. I think it's huge, and people can laugh as much as you want. I'll say, oh, I can't be doing that. I can't be sat just in my own space. My mind doesn't stop. That's the point of meditation. It's not to stop your thoughts. It's to process your thoughts and just sit in a minute and go, okay, what thoughts have I got today? And actually work through them.
Eckhart Tolle, who is one of my favourite spiritual writers, wrote The Power of Now, which
Love
is
that book.
probably my favourite book.
Is it actually? I had to reread that book recently, because I was like, I didn't understand it when I first read it. This was about 6 years ago.
And now you've gone on that journey. The Power of Now is beautiful because it's one of those where you can open it on any page. You don't have to read it as a book. You can just open it and take whatever that moment is. And Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about how if you do not have time for meditation, you need meditation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so true, and it's one of these things where the people who need it the most are not open to doing it, which is so sad. But I would imagine if you're listening to the podcast, you're the type of person who is open to personal development and growth. And meditation for me, I started meditating probably 10 years ago now.
Did you? Wow.
I cannot imagine who I would be as a person without meditation. And I make everyone around me meditate. So my stepdad at the start of last year had a massive heart attack and a triple heart bypass. It was horrendous. So we're kind of going through hell as a family. Literally, every time we got in from the hospital, I'm like, Mum, get on the floor, cross your legs, we're doing a meditation. She absolutely loved it, just being able to create that headspace. But she was the same. She's like, I'm not going to be able to switch my thoughts off. And I was like, you don't need to switch your thoughts off. You just need to calm your nervous system down and be able to actually hear your thoughts. Because I don't know about you, but for me with meditation, I sit down in a frantic state. There's a million things going on in my head. I'm stressed, I'm upset, I'm overwhelmed, whatever it is. And I sit down and I'm able to sink into a place of breaking my thoughts up into individual thoughts and going, okay, well, let's process this one and let's process that one. It doesn't have to be silence. Sometimes it is, and that's beautiful, but it doesn't have to be silence. It's just getting quieter. Cannot encourage enough. And you can use YouTube 10-minute meditation to get started. You don't need anything fancy.
You don't even need a 10-minute. You can do a 5-minute on YouTube.
But
That's
you
how I
don't
started.
need to like download all of these apps. So you don't need anything fancy. Guided meditation, 5, 10, 15 minutes.
It is a game changer.
And you'll very quickly find that you'll do 10 minutes and go, oh, I want to do 20, I want to do 30. And then you become completely obsessed with it.
Your thoughts are just put into places where they need to be. I mean, again, because we're spicy neuros,
Spicy
ADHD,
it's
it's
neurospicy,
needed.
not spicy neuro.
Oh, we're not spicy neuros. All right. Oh. You get excited with the spicy. But that's one of the main things is meditation, right?
Next happiness hack, boundaries. It's probably my favourite thing in the world to talk about. I could do an hour on boundaries. Physical and emotional boundaries. So when I say physical, I mean creating actual space between yourself and toxic people and toxic situations.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when I say emotional, I mean creating headspace and controlling how much energy you give to toxic people and toxic situations. No is my favourite word in the world, and it took me a long time to get there, but I will tell you no all day, every day, unapologetically. If it does not add value to my life, it does not make me feel good, does not make me happy, if you are not bringing something to the table, it's a no.
You're very, very good at that, actually.
No.
I've learned in the last 6 months, and I'm getting better at this. I am, and I'm teaching other people it too.
Have you previously been a bit of a yes man?
I am. Oh my God, babe! I am like I've been the biggest yes woman. I've travelled all over the world for my friends, for the hen dos, the weddings and things like that. Why did I need to go? No offence, I loved them all, love them all, but like they don't show up for me. They never will show up for me now. Like, and I just said yes to everything because I'm a nice person. That actually is, I think that has set me really back, not having boundaries. Always been the giver in every relationship I've ever had.
Here's the thing, you can be a nice person and still say no.
Exactly.
You can be a nice person and set boundaries for your emotional well-being. It's so, so important.
It's really, really important, actually. And I will tell you, my life has changed as well with all these little hacks, but boundaries is the main one for me. I've said no to so many things, and I have got no toxic people in my life now.
Yeah, and that's it. And not being afraid to cut out toxic people.
Out.
Do you know what
set your boundaries.
Absolutely set your boundaries. One of my favourite sayings. I say this to myself more often than I should, honestly. Like, I wish I didn't have to say this to myself so often, is you can't argue with an idiot. can't argue with an idiot, okay?
You cannot educate pork.
What? That is Sheffield.
Cannot educate pork. It's one thing my mum told me.
I have never heard that in my life. Can't educate pork.
No, it's dead meat. Like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's dead meat. You are arguing with dead meat.
Yes.
You cannot, again, it's this,
Let's not call our toxic friends dead meat.
well, no, don't mean that. But you know, you can't educate pork, guys. You cannot. Like, it's the same, right?
Oh my God,
it's the
yeah.
same.
So you can't argue with the idiot.
You can't argue with it, and you can't educate pork. So what am I doing here? Like, next.
But it's getting so conscious of asking yourself, like, does this person add value to my life? I am not going to engage in an argument or a conversation with someone when it's like a brick wall.
With pork.
It doesn't add any value. It doesn't make me happy. And it kind of circles back to that very first happiness hack of write a list of things that make you happy. And if this person, this situation, this experience isn't on that list, cut it out.
My next happiness hack
Yes.
is Mel Robbins. You gotta know who Mel Robbins is. You know who Mel Robbins
Mel
is,
Robbins is
right?
one of my favourites.
She is my absolute fave. I love Mel Robbins' podcast. She's incredible. Her book as well. So this is Let Them.
Let them.
Let them. And it's basically what it says. Let them. You know, people's opinions, dramas, judgments. Let them.
Let people be who they're going to be. Let them show you who they are and believe them the first time they show you.
Oh my God, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. That's so
If they want
true.
to go, go.
Yeah.
If you want to stay, stay. Let them. What a peaceful way to live your life.
That is honestly, like, that's where I'm aiming to be. Like, just let them.
Absolutely. I would say I'm 90% there on let them.
I think I
And I've got 10% more work to do where things that shouldn't bother me still do.
And it's an ongoing thing as well, I think that, because again, people come in to your life, and actually this goes on to the next one, right? So I've got a bit of an analogy here, and it's a train analogy, and it's that people come into your life at different seasons. So you're on the train and you're going down
Oh, I
the
love
line,
this.
and people come in different seasons, and people leave in different seasons, and you have just got to let them leave, come and go, and let them whenever they want to get off and on. You know, you don't let them on if you don't want them to go and then they come back. That's a different story. But people come in at different seasons in your life, and I think it's about accepting that and just saying, okay, well, we move. We're still moving.
Embracing that and embracing that change as well. I think one of the biggest things that causes people unhappiness is resistance to change. And if you can get yourself to a place where let them, people come and go, that's the seasons of life. The only constant in your whole life will be change.
Yes.
That's it. And the quicker you get on board with that, quicker you learn to embrace it, that you can be happy one day and your whole life is flipped on its head the next.
Yes.
Things are going to change. Things, unavoidable things are going to happen to
That's
you.
the same thing. It's like letting go of control, though. That's really hard for some people.
Yeah.
And once you start to actually embrace change,
And find it exciting.
Yeah.
Letting go. I think we see letting go as like a negative and, the end of a friendship or the end of a relationship. And actually, it doesn't have to be viewed like that. It can be a beautiful chapter of your life and then you're on to the next one. Let people show you who they are. And there will be certain periods of your life where you have a beautiful relationship with someone and then it ends in not such a beautiful way, but you can still take those happy moments and those happy memories.
And then you're still on your train and you're still moving forward because it's not
still
stopping.
on your train.
I am still on the train. We are right to the end, and it's the journey, not the destination.
Yes.
Right? Very much so. Yeah. I think the next one is stop talking negative.
Huge. This is huge. I've struggled with this since moving back to the UK because I find the culture here and the people here are generally a lot more negative. I say that with so much love.
Yeah. No, it is.
But
it's very
so
true.
inherent for us to, if we're in a lift, for example, what do we whinge to each other about? You've just bumped into a stranger in the lift, you talk about the weather and complain about the weather.
Oh my God, but shit weather today. Yeah, it is. It's always negative.
Always negative, the first thing that comes out of our mouth. So I actually said to you before, I want us to set a challenge to, on a podcast day or on any day, on set, modelling, whatever it is, not let a negative word or a negative comment come out of your mouth. Don't whinge about the traffic, don't whinge about the weather, don't whinge about the fact that the client's running behind, don't whinge about the fact that you're having sound issues, whatever it is. Not let anything negative come out of your mouth. It is so hard,
Really hard.
but it is so rewarding.
It is.
It starts to rewire your entire brain.
You have to do this continuously, though.
You do.
Anytime a negative thought comes into your brain or you want to say it out loud, stop. How is
'Cause
this
you
going to
change
serve
the
me?
energy of the
And also-
entire room.
And also, what you're doing, you're putting things out there to the universe, God, whoever you want to, you know, speak to. But you're literally putting that energy out. If I come in and start moaning about the weather and how shit my life is and how shit my day is, oh my God, you're just going to bring the energy down here.
Drain
Why
the
are
room.
you wanting to drain everybody and yourself when you need to be up here, right? Keep the spirits up, keep the energy up, and actually, when you start to rewire your brain with that, it comes naturally in the end.
Yeah.
I think we're very positive people though, but that's because we've had to do it.
I'm not naturally a positive person.
not?
Inherently,
I think
no.
I-
I
yeah.
work really, really hard on it.
Okay.
This actually leads really nicely onto our next happiness hack, which is no one can make you feel anything without your permission. So we are so conditioned to say, I'm going to talk about romantic situations. So like talking about your boyfriend, you're whinging about your boyfriend. We are so conditioned to say, he made me feel.
He did this.
Okay, he made me feel versus I felt.
Yeah,
Because no one gets
yeah,
to make
like that.
you feel anything without your permission. So his actions did not make you feel a certain way. You felt like that. That wasn't him. That was you. His action was whatever his action was. But the only thing that you can take responsibility for in any situation in your life is your response, how it makes you feel, and then how you react. So I think that self-responsibility is so, so important. Not the world has done this to me and I'm a victim. This person made me feel this and this person made me feel that. I felt. I take ownership over how I felt in that moment.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a really good one actually.
That's changed everything for me. It really, really has. Trying not to place the blame on other people. Even if someone has walked into a room and been an absolute arsehole and completely lowered the energy, I have the option to walk away.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
I'm still in control.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I felt.
I felt like that.
Last one. Last happiness hack for you all.
Whatever. Just gratitude, which again kind of ties into everything we've said about trying to be like present and just grateful for what we've got right now.
Yes.
Like, it's actually not that hard when you write it down on your journal.
Grateful for where you're at, regardless of what the journey ahead looks like. So you could be on the journey to something else. You've got big goals. You're working towards this. You're working towards that. But the only way you're ever really going to be happy is to be grateful for what you've got and grateful in the moment.
You know, have you ever looked back at a memory and be like, oh my God, that was like the best time I've ever had, or I felt so amazing in that time, and we weren't present enough to enjoy it.
Exactly. Have you ever looked back and regretted, I wish I'd just been so much more grateful for that, because it was the best time of my life. I look back on uni, best time of my life. I look back on backpacking, best time of my life.
I think as you get older, you start to, once you know, set these intentions of being grateful. And I think that's where the journaling comes in, because you're doing it every day, so you're prompting to it, you know?
Absolutely.
You're like, oh, what were I grateful to? Oh, well, actually, I was
5
grateful.
things I'm grateful for. There's nothing that will flip your mindset quicker if you're in a funk than getting your journal out and just journaling. 5 things I'm grateful for today. And this can be basic. It's like my legs that got me out of bed and allowed me to go about my day. My family, my partner, my health. Take it back to the basics.
You know?
I
I got to take away a healthy one, nutrition.
Kayla's grateful for a Chinese.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Curveball, the podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and watch us. Do all the things. We love you. We appreciate you.
We love your feedback, guys. Feel free to throw us a curveball of your own, and we'll see you next time.